Hi, everyone. We are back for another masterclass. And today, what we'll be doing is actually talking about a scenario when you are working very hard. Okay. And different expressions that will actually allow you to explain that situation in a little bit more detail and with a little bit more accuracy. Okay. Because, of course, you can say, I'm working hard, or I'm working very hard at the moment. But we want to give you a little bit more. We want to give you a little bit more vocabulary so that you can express yourself at a higher level. And as usual, Alistair is here with me. Hi, Alistair. How are you doing?
Hi, Daniel. Yeah, it's a good one. We're working very hard doing this today.
Yeah, we are.
As always,
Absolutely.
more or
Working very,
less.
absolutely. Good. Okay. So let's start with the first one, because just before we started recording this, it's kind of like we started thinking about three different expressions, right? To say that you're kind of working hard. And the first one is really interesting. Partly, well, for a number of reasons, right? But I'll just give it to you now, and we will discuss it, and then we'll kind of go into further detail, right? So this one is actually the expression that you are burning the candle at both ends, and we actually found out that that is actually a Spanish expression too, right? And it can pretty much translate directly into Spanish.
Yeah, seems to be. I mean, we'll find out on Thursday if in Latin America is also used. So,
Yeah.
but it seems to be at least in Spain,
Yeah.
according to Google. We might be wrong.
We might be wrong.
But it seems to be the same in Spanish. Now, what was it in Spanish? Quemar la
La vela
vela.
a ambos extremos, I think it is.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
two ends, so the two
Yeah.
extremes of your candle. So it seems to be the same, but it'd be interesting to find out if that's the case in all the Spanish-speaking world or not.
Oh, absolutely, because these expressions can be quite different from one part of the world to the other, right? So yeah,
in English is pretty standard, I think. Across English-speaking world is a very well-known expression.
Yeah.
But what's fascinating about expressions is, very often you know them because you grow up with them, you know what they mean, but very often you've never really thought about them, like why, where did it come from, or what's the origin of it?
Yeah.
So we were thinking of this, like, what exactly does it, not what it means. We know what it means, or we have a feeling of when you would use it and what it means, but it's like, what does it really mean exactly?
Yeah.
And why? What? Yeah. So we had to look it up also in Google, and we've going, of course it does sort of make sense.
Yeah.
Because we're not never really thought about it. It's only when you do this that you start thinking about, why do we say that? Where does it come from that you never usually think about? So
completely.
It's quite interesting, though, this burning the candle from both ends.
Yeah. And we kind of found out that it kind of had two really interesting concepts right behind it. Obviously, you can actually have the idea and the image of the candle, and you have the candle in front of you, and you're kind of literally got it. You've got it burning on both ends, literally, and maybe one of the reasons was obviously before there was electricity that you would actually need to burn it on both ends to have enough light,
or at least one end. I mean, at least you're burning the candle to give the light that you're maybe studying all night. The first thing we thought of was the idea of, like, when you have an exam the next day, or you've got a piece of work you've got to hand in at university. It can be work, doesn't have to be education. And you sort of, the first image comes in your mind with a candle is you're there, in your bedroom at university, studying all night, trying for an exam, or trying to desperately finish an essay or a piece of work to hand in the next morning. And it's like idea of the kid. Now, obviously, now you'd have an electric light, but you still go, this probably comes from the past where you were literally with a candle, which may or may not be the case. We still don't know, but probably. But it's a bit more than that, isn't it? Is what we discovered. It's the why the both ends. That was the bit we were like.
That was the kind of the interesting part. Now, of course, you might have to, I don't know, light the candle on the other side because you've run out of candle.
You're a
potentially,
poor student. You only got one candle, and you've got to make it last all night. Now that could also be possibly an origin of it. No?
Yeah. But the other one that we thought of was because is actually the idea of like that you're working hard and then you have to get up early the next day, right? So so you're kind of burning the candle at both ends means that your sleeping time is reduced. So you go to bed late and you get up early. So again, you're kind of like burning the candle at both ends. This kind of like
two extremes are reducing now. So you're only sleeping you stay up till, I don't know, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then you wake up at 6. So you've slept 3 hours. So you are reducing from the two extremes, no, the night and the morning,
Absolutely.
which I'd never really thought about before. But when we looked up the definition, and it said, so you've got to finish something, some piece of work that needs doing for the next day. You're staying up late and getting up early. Exactly. So you are burning the candle from both ends. I got,
absolutely.
That makes sense.
No, it's a good one. It's a good
so
one.
We discover things about our own language.
Absolutely. And the other thing that's interesting about this one is that it is kind of self-imposed, isn't it?
Yeah.
This kind of expression, you want to use it in a situation where you have really made the decision to do the work.
To do that.
Okay. Yeah. It's kind of like that. Nobody is really forcing you to do it. So like when you say to somebody, oh, you're burning the candle at both ends, it's kind of like you're kind of giving the impression, or you're kind of saying to that person that they are making that decision because they want to make that decision, right?
Yeah, I mean, the example I gave of the last minute studying for an exam, or last minute trying to finish a piece of work that you have to hand in to your teacher, professor, or of course in work situations as well, you have things you have to do, you have to finish. It's sort of like, well, it's your fault. You could have done it before.
You could have, yeah.
If you'd been more efficient and used your time better, you would have had it finished already. So you don't need to stay up late till 3 o'clock in the morning finishing it the day before. Right. So it's a little bit your fault by leaving it to the last moment for whatever reason may be.
Yeah.
It's sort of, self-imposed,
Yeah, kind of like a self-imposed punishment almost. It's like you're not really making the right decision there. Like when you're burning the candle at both ends, it's not really ideal for your health, right? It's kind of like it's something that you can't do in the long term, right?
No. Or the quality of the work, because it may not be very good because you're doing it. You should have spent more time and done it more carefully over a longer period, not trying to do it all in one night and you're very tired, presumably.
That's right.
So you get the image of someone there with a caffeine. I've done that when I was a student. I was very often burning the candle at both ends, but this is your own fault because you left it to the last moment.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me just now, I've thought about this, burning the midnight oil.
It's
a similar idea, right?
Yeah, just oil instead of a candle. But
that's right.
Both before electricity.
Yeah.
Burning the midnight oil. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same idea, no?
Yeah. So
this is sort of it's not your boss said you have to, stay up till 3 a.m. and wake up at 6 o'clock.
No.
No one's told you to do that. It's like you have to have this piece of work, this thing finished by Friday. You could have presumably done it before, but you've left it till Thursday night. And it's got to be given to your boss at 8 o'clock the next morning.
Yeah.
So or it might to stay up all night.
It might be over a longer period of time as well. There may be no particular deadline because you might say to somebody, "Oh, look, the way that you're working at the moment is like you're burning the candle at both ends. It's like it's really like this is not good for
inefficient. It's not good for your health."
Yeah. So it might be something that's deadline related. In fact, the third one that we'll come on to is definitely deadline related. But this might be just like a sort of more related to your lifestyle, right? Your actual lifestyle choice. That's right. Right.
Yeah, that is not good, not healthy. And you can't keep it going in the long term because you're going to, burning the candle, you're going to burn out yourself.
That's right.
In Spanish, you also say quemada when you've been working too much.
Yeah.
You've run out of energy. Your candle is burnt completely.
That's right.
There's nothing left. So it's not a good thing to do, really. People do it for many reasons.
They do. They do.
Sometimes you have to. You just haven't had time to do this thing, or you have had time, but you've chosen to watch series on TV and do other things, and you've left it all to the last moment.
Well, yeah,
which is more of a lifestyle choice.
Well, again, yeah. Good. So that's the first one, to burn the candle at both ends. Really nice expression, and so we discovered a lot through that one, and our research was really, really, really interesting. The second one is a little bit, I would say, it's very, very common as well. But the difference here is that it's not self-imposed, and the expression is to be snowed under. Now, in this particular case, this work or this heavy workload is also a really important word related to this. Can come from others, right? So it could be your boss who's giving you a load of work. It could be just literally that you've got so many clients that you are snowed under as well. It could be the market, right? So, but it's a really nice one. I got the image of, like as I think you were saying before we were recording, like an avalanche, right?
So
coming down over you.
Skiing in Switzerland or the Alps or wherever, and an avalanche, so a huge amount of snow coming on top, the weight of the snow, and you're trapped under, is the idea, the sort of metaphor of the workload, la carga de trabajo. So you're, a huge weight, like pressure,
Absolutely,
stress, a lot of work, and you're snowed under.
Yeah.
So under the snow, snowed under. I'm snowed under with, you can say snowed under, or I'm snowed under with work.
Yeah.
Often the with work you don't need to add because it's obvious if you're talking about work. But yeah, so that's often because, you're just a lot of work at the moment for whatever reason in your position, in your company, in your department, or someone's giving you a lot of work, your boss.
Yeah.
And you feel very under pressure, under stress. So
Absolutely.
I'm snowed under this week or this month or this quarter or whatever it may be.
Yeah. So that's the second one, snowed under. I think some people will know that one already. I think
that's not a lifestyle choice, is it?
No,
Nobody would choose to be under an
that's
avalanche, would they?
Yeah.
So you don't want to be trapped under the snow.
It's not a choice. In that case, it's not a choice. And you're kind of just saying that you're working hard, but maybe you're kind of saying you're busy, and also with that word, you're saying that you don't want any other work.
Yeah. It's often when it's said, look, don't give me more work. I can't.
That's right.
I'm snowed under. I can't accept anymore.
Absolutely. So slightly different to the first one. As you can see, all of these three are going to be slightly different. And so it's going to be interesting to see whether, our fluency community members can come up with little sentences where each one of them is a little bit more.
Just slightly gives that. So they're all, a lot of work, but slightly different. They are
slightly different.
Good word from French, I'm pretty sure you'll tell me as you speak French. Nuances.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nuance, which is matices. Yeah. So there are little nuances, little differences between them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Really good one. Really nice one. And the last one is to work flat out. Now, this is kind of related to a deadline, right? Because again, this is to work flat out is to work very, very hard. And in many cases, you might have some sort of cutoff point. You might have a deadline and so you feel as if you have to work flat out to get to that particular deadline. So it's kind of is working a lot, but working at maximum speed, right? That's really the idea.
Maximum intensity.
Yeah.
Probably involving extra hours, usually, or at least working very intensively.
Yeah.
Because you need to finish something, you've got a deadline to meet. That's usually the case, or just the period of the year. In certain kinds of business, you have busier periods of the year and quieter periods. So if you're coming up to this bit, I know in tourism, it's coming up to the summer. If you're working in some kind of tourist industry, you're probably going to be super busy in that period. So, you're working in, I don't know, in the hotel business, restaurant business, summer, in the months just before the summer, you're working flat out. Or before Christmas, maybe your business, I don't know, you sell something to do with Christmas, and that's a very busy period for you. You manufacture Christmas trees, or I don't know. So obviously in the months before Christmas, you're going to be working flat out. So everyone's crazy, working very intensely, probably maybe weekends, long days, trying to finish whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
So again, it's sort of like you're snowed under with work because of a reason, and you're all working flat out.
The context where I would hear that mostly, or what a scenario that I think about when I think of that particular word, so to work flat out, is often when there is some sort of delay. So imagine that you're getting a train from London to Manchester, and they suddenly say, okay, the train is delayed, or the train suddenly stops, and they say, well, there are leaves on the track or something, but we are working flat out to make sure that that the train gets going immediately again, or whatever it might be, right? So somebody's waiting
to its destination as soon as possible. So there's somebody somewhere up ahead on the track trying to clear the snow or the leaves or whatever it may be, and they're working really hard, intensely, quickly, trying to solve that problem. So that you can get to your destination. So that's something. We're working flat out to solve this problem.
In many cases.
So in any situation like that, flat is plano. No, it's like it's not really any. I don't really know why flat in this expression.
No, I don't know.
But anyway,
either.
To work flat out is very intensely, and often, as we said before, like extra hours are necessary to get this task completed on time. So
Or
you say,
yeah,
oh,
so
this
that
week where I'm working flat out. It's like crazy week.
yeah. Yeah. So you're kind of an expression of intensity and speed, I think. So all of them are slightly different, aren't they? It's slightly different, but that's great that they are, because that can allows our members to come up with sentences or little stories related to those particular three. So we'll go through them again. To burn the candle at both ends, which is a really nice one. That's the first one. The second one is to be snowed under. So again, that's a really nice one in terms of just coming up with a little story. Again, like story or a sentence, doesn't have to be anything spectacular, but just so that you're using it in the right.
You can invent a scenario, or you can tell, maybe you are at the moment really snowed under,
absolutely,
or working flat out, or in the past recently to finish something. So you give us a real example, or you can invent one, trying to use these three expressions, or at least two of the three. Correctly, with it's just getting them right. What situation would you use one or the other?
Yeah.
And the last one, of course.
And the last one was to work flat out. Yeah, to work flat out. So there it's sort of about intensity and speed. So yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Alistair. That was really great and really nice masterclass. I hope it's inspirational for our Fluency community members. Get recording for those of you in the Fluency community.
Please, and I'll comment as always.
Alistair will definitely comment. You'll be in his good books, let's say, if you do record yourself.
And then we'll practice it next Thursday.
Absolutely.
Challenge session.
All right, Alistair, thank you very much. Great to speak with you again, and I'll see you again next week. All right.
Ciao. Cheers.
All right. See you then. Bye-bye.